Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Gretchen Heidel, and I am live tonight here on Facebook and on Instagram. It is our Monday night date. Full-time professional astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And welcome everybody who is joining me tonight live on Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day, so welcome everybody. Happy Martin Luther King Day. On January 18th, 2021. We are going to be going over the astrology of this week, okay, in 2021 here, and it is the big week here in the United States. It is the inauguration day on Wednesday. So if you're just joining me live, I love to hear, as you always, I'd love to hear what astrological sign you are and where you're tuning in from. And you can join me either live here on Facebook tonight or on Instagram. Or if you're watching the pre-recorded version, thank you very much. And you can also check it out because I also post it on my YouTube channel. So welcome everybody who's joining me. Dear Brother Light, hello, welcome. Yay, Courtney, welcome. Rita, Virgo in Colorado, welcome. That's my mom. My mom's always tuning into the live broadcast. So if you're just joining me live, please go ahead and post below because there's a lot of energy to go over. It seems like I'm always saying that, and I am always saying that because we do have a lot of energy this week in astrology. So I'm going to just jump right in on Monday here on January 18th, 2021. Wendy said, hi. Oh, you're an Aquarius, Wendy, from Vermont, and we're going to be talking a lot about Aquarians tonight. Mary, hello, welcome. Almir, Jacqueline, Naomi, thank you for tagging people. She's so great at tagging people. You can go ahead and tag people as well. Jane Moon Wolf, yay, you made it. We're going to be talking a lot about Tauruses. We're going to talk a lot about Aquarius. So if you are one of those signs, please tune in. Or if you know a Taurus or Aquarius, go ahead and type below. And definitely, this is going to be affecting everybody, including the inauguration. So tomorrow on January 19th, that's where we kind of start, okay? Ashley said, Gretchen, you were right about Donald Trump leaving office early. Yes, yeah, he's moving on out. Not moving up, moving out. Virgo Sun, Libra Moon, Leo Rising. Ashley, welcome. Monica, Leo, Virgo Rising and Moon. Almir, Corbin. Yes, he's Scorpio as always. Oh, hey Kendall, I got your message. I will be on that soon. Marticia, hey Kenny, you're both welcome. Juliet, welcome. Jane Moon Wolf, Taurus with Aquarius Moon. So Jane Moon Wolf, this is gonna all be up in your Aquarius stuff, okay? Jackie Aquarius, welcome. We have so many Aquariuses tuning in live. Okay, so basically what the deal is, we are going to be moving into Aquarius season officially. 2021 is Aquarius season. On tomorrow on the 19th, that starts on Tuesday, and that's going to be happening officially when the sun moves into the astrological sign of Aquarius, and that's going to be at 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that, if you're out on the West Coast, at 12:40 p.m. Eastern time. Or Pacific time. That's going to be on Tuesday tomorrow. And Aquarius Sun. Okay, so now, oh my goodness, how much energy is in Aquarius? So remember last year, I was talking about Capricorn. Now it's Aquarius. So it's going to be Sun is in Aquarius. I'm trying to remember if I remember all these off the top of my head. Mercury's in Aquarius, Saturn's in Aquarius, Jupiter's in Aquarius, Pallas Athena's in Aquarius. Currently the moon is not in Aquarius. I feel like I'm forgetting one. I know there's going to ultimately end up being 7 planets in Aquarius. So I can't remember when we're going to be dealing with that, but you know, it's a lot of Aquarian energy. So we have right now 6 planets in Aquarius. That is a lot of planets in Aquarius all at one time. And we're going to have Mercury retrograde starting in Aquarius on Saturday on January 30th. Okay, and that's going to be Mercury retrograde in Aquarius as well. So we have a lot of stuff happening. So Aquarius, I've been describing it because we have many layers now in the sign of Aquarius, and I've been describing this Aquarian energy, but it is a fixed sign, and everybody gets this wrong, or not everybody, but a lot of people get this wrong, where they always say, Aquarius is a water sign. Well, it's actually it's an air sign, but the symbol for Aquarius is the water bearer. Okay, so that's where the confusion comes in. It's actually not a water sign at all. It's an air sign. So if you think of air signs as being cerebral and higher minded and in their head a little bit more, okay, that's the air sign. Okay, and air signs do tend to be more visionary, especially this Aquarius energy is definitely visionary energy, because a lot of great inventors and people who are all over the place, as far as like inventing new things and starting new things and creating just science and technology. We're thinking about Aquarians. Okay, somebody said Uranus. I'm not sure what that meant. Maybe I said the wrong thing back there. I'm not sure. Andrea, hello, welcome. Yeah. Oh no, Uranus, Wendy. I think you were talking about Uranus. That's in Taurus, which we're going to be talking about in a minute. That's not in Aquarius. The ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and so we're going to talk a lot about that today. And guess what? I remembered the map this time. Some of you were asking about the map. I remember the map. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about where are the lines on the map. A lot of people like to see that, and for like how it's affecting, like what part of the United States it's affecting specifically. But again, we're all going to feel this energy, this Aquarius energy. So there's a lot of really famous Aquarians that are just history in the making type people. Martin Luther King was a Capricorn, but he had, I believe, Mercury and some other planet in Aquarius. He had some Aquarius in his chart. Rosa Parks was an Aquarian. Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. A lot of very, very famous people. Ellen DeGeneres, even though she's getting some shade right now and some heat, she's in the hot seat right now. But she really did a lot to sort of change how we view daytime TV and how we view a lesbian or somebody who's not the heterosexual whatever, being in a daytime spot. And hello, that's really important. And so did Oprah Winfrey, who's also an Aquarian. She has, I believe, 3 planets in Aquarius, and she revolutionized daytime TV as well. So we have a lot of Aquarian energy, I will say, going on right now. And because of that, I really believe that science, okay, is going to be really a big thing here. I mean, science, technology is going to become over the next few years, but I'm talking about just the sun right now, and the sun is going to be just 1 month. Okay, it's next month it'll change into the next, we call it season now, Aquarius season. Naomi said, I miss Oprah. I know I miss Oprah too, but she's one of my favorite Aquarians for sure. But there's just a lot of people, that have that sun sign. And I'm going to be posting tomorrow on my astrology updates or Instagram page, a list of some people. I like to put people on that list. Michael Jordan's an Aquarian, just a lot of people. So anyway, Aquarius is that higher minded energy. And a lot of people get confused because when we think about Aquarius, we think unique, different, outside the box, revolutionary, changing things, being a visionary, and all this kind of stuff. And yet it's fixed. Okay? So that means what? It means basically fixed is kind of fixed. Another word for that can be stubborn or set in their way, or, once they go there, and that's it. So when you think about Aquarius, Aquarius is fixed in its uniqueness. Okay, so Oprah wasn't going to change, her trajectory. I mean, she started off like other daytime people, but she went into her own thing and she stuck with that. She wasn't going to compromise in that way. Rosa Parks, same thing, and so that's the thing. So you have to kind of remember, when we think about Aquarians, a lot of people think, well, how can that be fixed? Because it's so unique and different outside the box. Literally, what I like to say is when you think of Aquarians, you think of change makers. Now, we're not all going to be Aquarian, Oprah Winfrey. But I always say if you change your little corner of the world or your little universe, the little area that you kind of put your focus in, that's you're a change maker. And some people are uncomfortable with that. I mean, it is about being different and about being unique and individualized and kind of marching to the beat of your own drummer. So some people do get intimidated by that energy, but I happen to think it's exciting and fun. A lot of Aquarians, however, do feel like they're on the outside. They're on the outside looking in all the time. They're always outside the crowd or, in some way, like set apart and different. And a lot of Aquarians don't feel like they fit in, even though, like I said, Oprah Winfrey is an Aquarius. She knows millions of people. But she wouldn't necessarily call millions of people her friend. And by the way, speaking of Aquarius, Aquarius is the sign of friendship. So right now, in this next month, friendships are going to be the new lens. That's going to be the new thing of how we basically interact. And so that'll be exciting. Yes, Sarah is posting here that she is an Aquarius. Yay. Rosalie Capricorn from Burlington, welcome. There's lots of people here on Instagram. Dear Brother Light, Western time. He's posting from Pacific Standard Time. So welcome. Thank you for joining. I know it's a little earlier there. So Aquarius is going to be our big sort of lens, and it's not just the sun. Like we're in Aquarius season, but then we have all these additional layers. We have Mercury and we have Saturn, we have Jupiter, we have Pallas Athena. We have a lot of planets there. Okay, so all of those planets are in all this lens. So where I was talking in the past about Capricorn, now I'm shifting and talking about Aquarius, but Capricorn, remember, is more conservative and it's more like do things the old way, the established way. And now we're about to be shifting and going into the new way. Okay, what's the new way of doing something? Because remember, if we're here, if the Changemaker planet sign is getting activated and the Changemaker planet being Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. We're in for some bumpy rides. So, I've been predicting about all this kind of stuff going on with the inauguration, everything else. We had a little uprising go on the 6th, as you know, the insurrection that had happened. And so basically, and we are going to be going into to Wednesday when we go into the inauguration. My mind's all over the place right now. I'm trying to gather all my thoughts here. When we go into the inauguration, the planet of Mars, the god of war, is going to be conjunct, Uranus. Now, when I say is going to be conjunct, I want you guys to look at the map because I really do feel this map helps people. My mom told me and a bunch of other people contacted me and told me, so I listen. So do you guys see, I'm trying to show Instagram here, see this big double thick line that's going, and then on Facebook here, this big double thick line. Okay. That is Mars and Uranus already together. Okay, so when I say they're coming together, I mean the exact minute that they come together is going to be on Wednesday on the day of the inauguration, but you can see they're already together. So remember when I keep in mind when I say that we are going towards the peak, the height, the exactitude, that is going to be on Wednesday at 3:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Earlier than that if you live on the West Coast, okay, but 3:38 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the height when they're at the peak, but just keep in mind, it's essentially active right this minute, because as you can see from the map, and by the way, I drew the bullseye there, not that it's literally a bullseye, but the little circle, they're called distant circles. The center there is Washington, D.C. So I'm just showing how close these planets are to Washington, D.C., if you can see. And there's other planets too. The outer circle is 700 miles, within distance of Washington, D.C. So that means really all of the East Coast is feeling this for sure. But what's out here on the West Coast? Well, you see how I keep talking about all the planets here in Aquarius? So you can see all these heavy lines going through the West Coast. Definitely the Northern Pacific sort of side there, like Washington State and Oregon and all those other things. This is Jupiter. This is Saturn. Oh, there's one more. I can't remember the other one, and then Pluto is out here. So you can see all these planets here are in actually Aquarius right now, okay? And that's basically where all this Aquarian energy is really touching the US. As far as the US goes, it's the Aquarian energy is the West Coast, okay? So it's definitely Washington State, Oregon, sort of Nevada, also going through San Francisco. Okay, so we have like a lot of planets there. We have the sun going through Los Angeles, right? I mean, there's like a lot of planets going through that West Coast sort of area, and that's all this Aquarian energy. So it's like this is opposing this. And so it's not opposing, it's squaring, but that's basically what the deal is. So Mars and Uranus are going to be almost running through very close to where Washington, D.C. is. Okay, this is where they are. They're not really going to move much further. They're just going to come together and become one giant solid lump of a line on the map. So that's basically what the skinny is. And then we have also directly running through the middle is Venus. Okay, which would help a little bit with peacefulness, I will just say that, but these other two are really, Mars and Uranus are really kind of problematic, because when you think of Mars, Mars is the god of war, and we can't forget it's the god of war. And then also Uranus is sudden upsets, unexpected events, revolution, change, and all this stuff. Now, people are trying to change on both sides. When I say both sides, I kind of, I'm saying like politically and all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things going on. I'm not a politician. I'm not, even though I've done this stuff for you guys at the start of COVID, I started doing these astrological broadcasts from the start of COVID, but I'm not a political astrologer per se, but I've gotten really into giving you guys updates just because it's just been so crazy. And I feel like we need some way of kind of knowing like what's going on. And that I feel is astrology. Astrology really helps us to see through things. The other sort of, so that's stressful. Mars forming a conjunction with Uranus. I mean, that can be explosions, that can be fires, that can be earthquakes, that can be volcanoes, that can be all kinds of stuff, okay? Think about Uranus ruling over the nervous system of the body. That can be tremors, seizures, earthquakes, upsets, palpitations, all kinds of stuff like that. And then you get Mars, the god of war, in there, which can be high blood pressure, and it can be, like some stuff, so these two coming together, we don't really ever want them to come together, really, but they're coming together, and it just so happens to be on the day of the inauguration. So I'm really hoping that we don't have like another big thing, but there could be another big thing. And I know that they're really, when we think about the god of war, really the troops and the National Guard and everything else is getting like kind of sort of set into place to deal with this, almost like there's warlike energy. So I don't know. I'm hoping really that there is change and that there becomes peaceful change. As this day of the broadcast, when I'm talking, it's the day of Martin Luther King Day, and when I think of Martin Luther King, I think he would have not liked this. That we're not trying to understand each other, and that there's not willingness to have peace. And hey, if they want to protest, protest peacefully, do it legally, do a legal protesting. Don't have it be an insurrection and craziness. I mean, that was just crazy. So basically that's what's happening right now. And then on the same day, on that day, is the first quarter lunar cycle. Now in astrology, when we talk about the moon and we talk about lunar quarter cycles, those days are also another sort of stressor point because it's the halfway point between the last new moon, which was last week on the 13th, okay, and then the next full moon, which is coming on the 28th. We are at the halfway point. That's called the first quarter lunar cycle. And that's going to be 1 degree Taurus, okay? So if you have Taurus in your chart, that's where the energy is going to be. So Mars and Uranus are also in Taurus. They're 6 degrees Taurus, okay? So that's 6 degrees Taurus. And then we have the first quarter lunar cycle at 1 degrees Taurus. Now, when we think about Taurus, Taurus is the bull. And I said to you guys, there was that crazy guy that was, I don't know his name. I don't really care to know his name, but that guy that was photographed, the infamous now photo of the insurrection, he literally had a costume on with like bull horns. It's kind of ironic, but not ironic that was the day that Mars went into Taurus. So Taurus is the bull, okay? So we have to remember that, and we have a lot of bull-like energy that's going on. I mean, but mostly bulls are peaceful. I mean, if you think about it, they're mostly peaceful creatures, unless if you're waving a red flag at them. So basically, that's the thing. We are going to be having, sort of stuff come up. And even if it's not necessarily in Washington, D.C., I actually do think, the West Coast is very activated as well. So there could be other areas where things pop up. Again, I'm hoping that's not the case, but it could very well be, because this is really contentious energy that's happening here. And was this active on Wednesday the 6th? Absolutely. That's when Mars kind of went into position to start doing the square with, basically what's happening is the square is happening with the fixed signs of Taurus against the fixed sign of Aquarius, and they're both fixed. So they're like, they're like kind of battling it out. So if you are a fixed sign, so Aquarius or Leo or Taurus or Scorpio, you're feeling this energy extra, extra strong. And especially if you're a Taurus or if you're an Aquarius, because you'll be at the ground zero of this sort of contentiousness. And you might feel it even just as anxiety. I mean, Uranus is the planet of, remember, shakeups, unexpected events, but it's also anxiety. I mean, I will just say Uranus is really an anxious planet. I mean, I see people, my clients kind of freak out when Uranus is active, and I'll be like, okay, Uranus is active or Mercury is active right now. Be mindful of that. Like, do a lot of grounding. Okay, going outside, taking a walk in nature, lighting a candle. Speaking of lighting candles, your Archangel Uriel is very closely aligned and related to Aquarius, but also Uranus, okay? So if you ever want to, remember, I always talk a lot about, and I'm going to continue to talk a lot about Archangel Uriel, because he, we're kind of in what people are calling the age of Aquarius. It's really hard to quantify, to be honest with you. A lot of people are asking, is this the start? Is it not? Blah, 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 blah. I think it is. I actually do think it is the start, but it's, the start of a 2,000-year-long cycle. I mean, it takes a little while to start to integrate from what they call the age of Pisces into Aquarius. So there's that. So Archangel Uriel is the archangel that is associated with light. Okay, and so he always is pictured usually holding a lantern or having a bolt of lightning in his hand, or in some way, shape, or form providing light so that we can see the path ahead of us, and that the path ahead of us, is illuminated, that we have guidance, that we have, some degree of being able to see our actions and and also, what do we need to see? I mean, a lot of times people right now are very confused and very, we still have COVID going on. I mean, so that can be another sort of aspect of this, is that, we still have COVID going on, and it's raging on the West Coast, okay, where all this activity is. In fact, I could print out, that would be quite ambitious to do, but I could print out all of the areas, all the maps of the world. Everywhere where Pluto line is, Okay, the Pluto line is kind of out to sea on the East Coast, thankfully, but unfortunately it's running through South America. This is the start of South America, but anywhere where the Pluto line is running, pretty much is where the COVID virus is ravaging. In fact, on last year, December, January, whatever, the COVID line was, I'm sorry, the COVID line, that was funny. The Pluto line was running right through Wuhan, China. Okay, so I mean, hello, they call that ground zero. I mean, so it is going through, and I was just reading that there is another like sort of, I don't know if the right word's mutation or variation of the virus is definitely coming up in Brazil. There's another one in South America. Well, all of these, that's where mostly the Pluto lines are kind of going. And we do have one on the West Coast here, which is very close to, land. It takes many, 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 many years for the Pluto line to move, just to let you guys know. It's been out to sea for a while, but it is making landfall. And in fact, the last time it was very close to Washington is where they thought the entrance or the big first pocket was Washington State. And so that's where a lot of those planets were. So anyway, that is going to be Wednesday, and there's a lot of energy right now. So even the next day on the 21st, there's going to be another mirroring of the alignment, the conjunction between Mars and Uranus. There's going to be a mirroring of that the next day on the 21st with the moon. So, because the moon's going to be in Taurus. So we want to stay away from those days. That's not the time to have like a talk with your boss or a talk with your honey or your sweetheart or a talk with like, some high stress pressure thing. If anything, it's the time to kind of like step away from arguments, step away from, so if someone tries to goat you and get you involved with them, step away. They can't fight with themselves. Try to drive slowly, all of that stuff that I always talk about, with Mars and Uranus, and it is very three-legged table energy, meaning that if you visualize a table with three legs, doop, like if you put too much on that table, it's going to flop over. So if you know anybody that's struggling with mental illness, with addiction, with any kind of thing, anger issues, if someone just straight up has anger issues and frustrations, that's going to be active all week. I mean, I'm just going to say it's not just Wednesday. It's going to be all week that it's activated. So when you think of anger, remember that anger stems in pain, some kind of pain, okay? Pain. So if you feel real angry about something, if you even find yourself getting angry, irritated, annoyed, whatever, ask yourself what about that situation is really causing you pain, and think of it as that. And then, because usually right under anger is tears. Okay, a lot of us will cry. I even do it. I'll cry. If I get really mad, I'll start crying. Because there's usually pain associated with anger. And that's why, by the way, if you cry after you get angry or around that time, that's usually why. And just remember to slow down, because this energy is going to be really, really fast energy. It's going to be pushing us to do things quickly, and I would even say, if I had a message to give to Joe Biden, it's to slow down a little bit too. Just slow down, I know he's raring to go and everything, but we can't change everything just overnight like that. It's going to take time. And remember the lesson of Taurus. If Taurus had a superpower, the lesson of Taurus is patience. And do it slow, do it steady, do it methodically. Okay, that's the superpower of Taurus. And the superpower of Aquarius, detachment. Giving less F's, if you know what I mean. Detachment, okay? Being able to detach from a situation, not getting goaded, not getting fired up. And if someone's trying to pick at you, just, try to let them sort of walk away. Wendy Martin said, can you predict where the planets will be in 4 months? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We know where the planets are going to be, which is why it's fun to do astrology, because then when I do readings or I do astrological charts, when I'm working one-on-one with my clients, they say, what's going to happen next year, and, you know, blah, 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 or, you know, what date is good for a wedding, let's say, or what date is good for surgery. You know, I have a lot of people that ask me about picking ideal times. It's kind of funny. In India, I'm kind of a rock star. Because in India, everybody has like a personal astrological specialist that like guides them for different things. So that is a fun little side note, but yeah. Rosalie said she had a special, I think she means education teacher, tell her that anger is an unmet need. That's a good way of thinking of it. Sure. Because usually it's pain. Why are you in pain? Oh, because someone was mean to me. Someone didn't treat me. I didn't feel seen or heard, or, you know, that kind of thing. That's usually anger is kind of deep down there. How can you ignore me? You jerk, you big jerk. You know, I'm important too. You know, I mean, think of anger in that way, and then you can kind of chill out just a little bit. If you can have that consciousness, some people can't. In which case, you got to count to 10 and exercise. Exercise this week is very beneficial and good. The only caveat is Uranus is unexpected, can be falls and accidents. So we don't want to do like crazy, like let's say you're going to learn how to be a trapeze artist this week. That would not be good. But just going like for a walk or treadmill or a little stationary bike or some kind of thing like that, even doing yoga on a mat in your living room floor would be really good. Okay, just to let you know, just to work out some of that energy, because this energy is so like anxious and sort of you know, that we're gonna need an outlet. And I think to try to sit and meditate and just pray, unless you're really trained already to do that and you got a good, you know, sort of system with that, I think it might be hard to sit still. I'll just say, because segue, on Saturday, the 23rd, January 23rd, Mars is going to form a square with Jupiter. Because, you know, we can't just have one square. We have to have 500. So last Wednesday, on the 13th, on the new moon, Mars formed a square with Saturn. Then this Wednesday, on the 20th, Mars will form a square with Uranus. Will form a conjunction with Uranus. Then on Saturday, Mars will form a square with Jupiter. And then let's see, I think that's it as far as this month goes with squares with Mars. I mean, it's just kind of like a crazy. Okay, yeah, my mom said she's not sleeping well. Yeah, this is not really conducive energy to rest. And if you think about it, it's like kind of like wired but tired. Like you really want to rest, you need to rest, or driving yourself to complete exhaustion and then finally like completely passing out. But it's not really conducive to like just being able to like kind of be calm and chill and meditative and sleepy because of all of this energy. And then the sun's going to form a conjunction with Saturn on Saturday. We have 3 big transits on Saturday, the 23rd also, just to let you know as far as a hot spot this week goes. The big 3 days this week are Tuesday, which is the start of Aquarius season, Wednesday, which is the first quarter lunar cycle, and Mars conjunct Uranus. And then Saturday, the 23rd, Mars is going to be square Jupiter. The sun's going to form a conjunction with Saturn in Aquarius. And then Venus is going to form a sextile to Neptune. That's all. It's a lot of energy. It's really a lot of energy. So Saturday is going to be another day like of potential anger issues, because if you think about Mars and Uranus being conjunct, and then Jupiter is going to form a square with Mars. Jupiter makes everything big. So now we're making the god of war bigger. Okay? It's you know, on a positive note, if you're not looking at the politics and the sort of crazy world stuff that we're living in, that's a good time to get stuff done. Get it done. Like that's the time to rip apart your garage and clean out your closet. And because Mars is going to want to be active, remember, and then Jupiter makes it big. So we're going to want to be like moving our bodies. So definitely that's the time if you If you want to do some crazy home project, that would be great to do, because again, that is in Taurus, squaring Jupiter. But Jupiter can give you drive, ambition, and motivation. So if you have a big project thing that you need to do, let's say you need to tackle your taxes, let's say you need to clean out your closet, let's say you need to do whatever it is, that is going to give you this whole week. We're going to have a pep in our step and we're going to be active. This is not really the week to be meditative necessarily. Meditation is amazing and I think should be done daily. But this is not the week to start your meditational practice. This is the week to move your body. I think it's Zelda777 on Instagram said, I've been cleaning my house all day. A lot of energy. Yeah, tons and tons of energy. So we have a lot of people joining here on Instagram. Yay, that's amazing. Monica Sanborn is tuning in from Brooklyn, and Leo. So I am really glad that everybody's here. We have almost 50 people here live on Facebook, and I think 11 here on Instagram. So welcome if you're just joining. I really appreciate it. We are going to be, I'm going to do some cards. What do you guys need to know this week? As you can tell, I went earlier I went over where the lines are going to be. So if you are on the East Coast, you're going to be at ground zero on the East Coast of the Mars-Uranus conjunction. Okay, we are going to feel much more of the anxiety. And then on the West Coast here, on this side, it's like the hard life lessons and all that stuff. And Aquarius is over here on the West Coast. So the middle of the country, yes, I mean, it has energy. It's not to say it doesn't, but it's really East and West coasts are really going to be very, very interactive. So you want to do your grounding, okay? You know, I always like my grounding stones, my dark colored stones, with hematite, we have snowflake obsidian, any kind of dark colored stone. I am wearing my green stones, my heart energy, because I do have electrical stuff with my heart, and I'm trying to protect myself here. Last, I think it was Sunday, I had some heart palpitation stuff going on, which Jupiter was square Uranus on Sunday. Just tons of stuff. Uranus is the big planet this month for sure, and is going to be really activated and highlighted most of 2021. So just to let you guys know, it's a lot of energy. So I'm going to pull a card. What do you guys need to know for the week? But first I'll take just a few questions. I can't answer everybody's question, but I would love to answer any questions that you guys might have for me tonight. Oh, Almir, you got me, buddy, because Almir just asked me a question that tugs on my heartstrings here. Almir here is trying to adopt a dog and wants to know, has an appointment tomorrow to see wants me to pull a card to see how that appointment will go with that doggy. So let me see. I'm going to pull a card for Almir. Dear Brother Light asked me a quick question. I'm going to answer that in a second about what stones do I use. But let me first pull a card for Almir. Almir, puppy. I feel really good about this puppy. You get the card of communication. Okay, talking, signing contracts. Okay, I do feel really positive vibes. I don't know if you saw, but there was a card that was trying to fall out, which was also Venus. So you got the card of communication, talking, negotiating, planning, all that kind of stuff. It's ruled by Mercury, that card. So Almir, it's about that. So what does he need to know? I think this dog is going to be a good dog. I do think the dog has some trauma, so I don't know if it came from a rescue situation or some kind of a thing. I feel like, you just kind of need to get to know the dog. The dog has some fear, I feel. So I feel like it's one of those situations where you're going to have to work a lot on the confidence factor of this doggy. Training the dog to sit, making the dog sit every single time, you know, you want to have a treat or a cookie or food or whatever, helps the dog to get confidence, okay? Oh, yes, Almir's just said, yes, it is a rescue dog. So I think that would be wonderful. Oh yeah, actually, Wendell21 here on Instagram said the Mega Millions is $850 million, which is crazy, and it draws on Tuesday. Wants to know if I know of any lucky number. I mean, come on. I think everybody wants to know. Well, I'll split it, okay, at $850 million if I give the lucky number right now. So, no, I can't give the lucky number, okay, but I will say that that could be, because think about something that's shocking and unexpected, Uranus. So if you were the winner of the $850 million, that would be quite shocking. I mean, oh my goodness, you know, that would be like crazy. So yeah, I mean, that type of surprise too. I mean, Uranus is the wild card. It's anything that's unexpected events, crazy sort of stuff. I mean, because it's combined with Mars, I'm focusing on the sort of anger and aggression side of it. However, Mars is energy, and Mars is just, if you think of energy is really kind of neutral. Okay, it just depends on what the conduit's like and what the energy body is like, okay, when the energy sort of flows through it. So if you're a person that your energy's clean, clear, you're good, you're grounded, you're pretty, like not much is happening in your life, you'll be fine. You know, I mean, this energy goes through you nice and easy. But if you're somebody, again, like I was talking about with the three-legged table, addiction, mental illness, some kind of thing, that energy could be real wonky. Okay, so Almir, I hope that helps. I can't wait to see a picture of the puppy. Okay, Colleen said, oh, your Boston puppy has surgery planned for Thursday. Okay, well, Thursday's better than Wednesday, my dear. I wouldn't, if you have elective things, I wouldn't do that on Wednesday. Okay. Kate wants to know about a medical issue, so let me just see here. Kate, you have a couple things going on. Let me just get into your energy, Kate. She wants to know if she gained weight in a very short amount of time. So, Kate, I have to tell you that I do feel that you need to have your thyroid checked. I'm instantly getting a hit on the thyroid, but I also do feel that, Kate, you're having hormones too. So it's like a combination. If you think about thyroid regulates hormones. So I do feel that is a thing. I also do feel that you haven't been really working out like a ton. I will say, like, I feel like you just kind of need some good old fashioned like this, like kind of going for a walk or whatever. But that's kind of what I'm getting, like it's like layers, okay? But I feel like you do have a combination of some hormones, and if at all possible, if you get blood work done, I would have them test your thyroid, because I am getting like a hit on something with the thyroid. I don't know, Kate, if you ever had a thyroid problem before. But you do want to always make sure that you get it checked out by a doctor, and ask them to do a thyroid panel on you. So I hope that helps. So some people are asking for a card specifically on the inauguration, so I will do that. I have a couple people here that were asking about things. All right, so let's see. Wendy, you're starting your own online business. Tons of photography. A card would be great. All right, Wendy, I'm going to answer your question, and then I'm going to do a card about your online business. And somebody else had asked me. Oh, Kate said busted on not working out. I'm sorry, girl. Yeah. So anyway, so somebody asked me about heart stuff and heart palpitations and heart. One of my friends gave me this lovely bracelet for Christmas. ruby zoosite, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. But any green stone is wonderful for the heart. So somebody asked what I wear for heart palpitations. I wear a lot of grounding stones, the dark colored stones, as you guys know, but also I am wearing green stones. These are actually glass beads, I'll just be honest, but these are real stones here. Even this little bracelet is real, I believe, jade bracelet, and then this is ruby zoosite, okay, for heart energy. So if anybody wants to know about heart energy, and also this is heart chakra is green and pink. So doing anything with rose quartz, this is a big hunkin' rose quartz. I'm trying to see if the camera will pick it up here, but which is pink, and that's also the heart chakra. And often I sleep with this under my bed, okay, to do some heart grounding energy and heart work. So I hope that helps. I even have some malachite here, though I don't wear malachite as often. I find that it gives me headaches, actually. Malachite stones tend to give me headaches. I think it's too much energy. So Wendy had asked, okay, about a photography business, and then I'm going to pull a card for this week. I can even just pull a card for the inauguration. We'll just see how that goes. Okay, so this week, okay, I'm going to pull a card. Wendy, what do you need to know about your new business? What does Wendy need to know? I'm using the Archangel deck. Okay, so Wendy, you're getting the card Creative Writing. Okay, so what I feel with this, because you mentioned photography, I feel that this has to do with social media presence, writing a blog, getting a website, doing all of the stuff with this, or that you have to write some sort of proposal or something. But I really feel like you have to write like a bio and like where you started and what's going on. Like I feel like you have to do all that kind of stuff with this. Archangel Gabriel. Make time to write your thoughts down in a journal or pen an article or book. Okay, so Wendy, that's your card. I do feel that you need to kind of pretty much do a lot of stuff in reference to doing social media type writing. That's what I kind of feel that you're going to end up doing. So I hope that helps, Wendy. Thank you. She said beautiful rose quartz and malachite. Thank you very much. So Wendy, if you haven't anything to add to that, or if you want to just say where you're at with the process, but that is the process that you need to go in. I do feel that it's going to be good, but sort of slow going at first. And so just, I would say, have patience with it. Also, I am seeing an Etsy store. So I don't know if you're going to be making like note cards or some kind of thing with your image on it, but I am seeing like sort of an Etsy store. One thing, Wendy, I am going to say, divine order is everything is how it should be right now for you. So even blockages and obstacles, okay, this is saying divine order, okay, this is everything is as it's supposed to be, and that's Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it's supposed to be. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. So I hope that helps. Yay! Okay, everybody, I'm gonna pull a card as requested for the inauguration, and then I'll just pull a nice angel card for this week. What do we need to know? But let's see. What do we need to know about the energy of the day of the inauguration? What is the thing we need to most be aware of on that day? Spiritual material conflict. Spiritual material conflict. What does that mean? Well, first of all, I am going to say the number 18 reduces to 9. That's the number. This has an underlying thing of Mars. What this is there's a conflict, spiritual material conflict. Okay, the word conflict is in this. About sort of material versus spiritual. So like, it's almost like, using as an example, if you were passing a law, let's say you're a politician, you're passing a law, if this is better for the bottom dollar, or if this is better for spiritually, like it has a good purpose that it's serving. In other words, there's a clash of beliefs here, which definitely can result in some sort of a thing. So the spiritual, which is like, why are we doing this? What's the bigger thing? What value are we adding? And the material is the monetary, or sort of, kind of where we're placing our energy is, in other words, if someone gets this when they ask me a question about jobs, I'm always saying, like, you might be getting a paycheck, but you might hate your job, or you might not believe in what you're doing. So are you doing it for the money, or are you going to do it for the belief? And so, some people would say that has been the conflict all along with the Trump administration. Some people would say that. As to, is it spiritual material conflict? Okay, spiritually, are we doing the right thing here? Or are we just fiscally doing the right thing? And those two are not on the same page, and they have to come together. That's the message here. It has to come together and make some kind of a happy medium. It can't be all one way. It can't be all the other way. So I hope that helps. So that's the day of the inauguration, and this is a conflict. There is a conflict there. It's not the actual card of war, but this has the core root in the war card. So unfortunately, I can't get away from Mars. I want to get away from Mars, but I can't with that. People always ask me what deck this is. This is Linda Goodman's star cards, and they are out of print. So I don't know if you can find them still, but it's a combination of astrology, numerology, and tarot deck. Okay, so I'm going to pick a nice card for all of us people who are not necessarily going to be doing any crazy stuff, because my viewers are not doing that. Brother Light said, I sleep with amethyst by my head. That's a great one to sleep with, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to pull one card. What do we all need to know? This is a lot of energy. What do we need to know? How can we best sort of utilize this energy for the positive? Let's use it as a positive energy. Like what do we need to know? How can we cause this to be positive, or whatever? Okay, life review. All right, I'm going to show my people on Instagram and on Facebook life review. This is the card of Archangel Jeremiah. Okay, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that's unbalanced. I think this is a perfect one. One thing I didn't talk about, which I will very briefly, I don't know if I have enough time or not, hopefully I do, but one thing that is happening tomorrow that I forgot to mention on Tuesday the 19th is the asteroid Vesta is going retrograde. And this card reminded me of Vesta. The asteroid Vesta is going retrograde. Vesta is in Virgo, okay, just to let you know. And it's starting its retrograde cycle. And it's going to be retrograde between tomorrow and January 19th all the way until April 20th of 2021. So Vesta is whatever keeps you safe. So think about smoke detectors, safety belts, alarm systems, insurance policies, or makes you feel safe in your life. So when you talk about Vesta in Virgo, we feel safe through readiness, through preparedness, through organization, and most of all, through our health. Okay, they say, the saying is, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So preventative measures, preventative health care, taking your vitamins, going for walks, eating salad every day, doing whatever it is you do to remain healthy and be prepared, food prepping, okay? Setting aside time, maybe not the gym right now, but setting aside time to go walking or whatever. All of that is Vesta in Virgo type stuff. And it's going to be going retrograde. It's going to be the first planet, sort of asteroid 2021 that it'll be starting to go retrograde. So that's starting tomorrow. So life review, when this card comes out and it says, resolve to change or heal anything that's unbalanced, that's really, in a way, Vesta type of stuff. If you have anything out of, let's say you're eating a bag of Doritos every night, that's unbalanced. Okay, and then we want to be able to to bring it back into balance. Okay, so that's Vesta. And Vesta is going to go retrograde. It's an asteroid, so we don't feel this like quite so sharply, but again, it depends on your own personal chart where Virgo falls in your chart in order to know how Vesta will affect you on a personal level. You can see what needs to be sort of, how do you need to feel safe, and what do you, if you don't feel safe in that department, then how can you fix it? Okay, so like let's say Vesta's in your second house of money, and money, maybe financial security makes you feel safe. Well, maybe you open up a savings account or some kind of a thing. You know, I mean, that's a Vesta thing of how would you feel safe? Okay, if Vesta is in your area of home and family, how can you feel safe in your home? Maybe you buy smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors. This is the time of year, by the way, to buy them. So I hope that helps. So please go ahead and text me or send me a Facebook message. I'm better with texting. I'm just going to be honest. If you text me, it's like kind of in my face. And if you'd like to have a personalized astrological session, or go ahead and share my videos, that always helps. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I am going to be posting stuff on there that I don't post on these other platforms. That'll be a its own special channel in itself. So, amen, everybody. Please, let's just like us light workers ground, so that the energy can kind of dissipate a little bit. All right, everybody, have a great week. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate all of your support. Take care.